Tell people to wear wigs. I mean, look at my mouth. Okay, so long time ago, long time ago, back when I lived in Nashville, there was this dude that my cousin introduced me to. His name is Cedric Wilson. He's from Houston, Texas. Houston, Texas, baby. He was in Nashville to go to school at Tennessee State to get a degree in medicine. He was going to school to be a doctor. And my cousin introduced me to him. And I was like, oh my gosh, this guy is hot. You could tell he was not from Nashville. He did not look like no Tennessee nigga. So he told me, he was like, can you give him a ride home? I was like, yeah. Come on. We hopped in the car. I took him home. We exchanged phone numbers. I was working at the cable company at the time. Now, keep in mind, I was in a relationship with Riley at this time. Now, he and I were still having the issues where he was getting caught doing shit that he said he wouldn't do it anymore. So, I feel like a little bit I had some license to go do whatever the fuck I wanted to do. So, me and Cedric, did a little something. Like 1 or 2 times. It wasn't a lot because he studied all the time. And at the cable company, I worked a whole lot. I would do like 30, 40 hours of overtime. I was working like 2 shifts. I was working double shifts at a time. So it was to help fund all the shit that I was paying for because he wasn't paying for nothing. This was before he had a job. This is before I got him hired. I got him hired at the cable company. So it would be like when Cedric would call me, it would be kind of important that I just drop everything and just go so I could scrounge with him. Because it wasn't too often that he got a break in his studying. So one day, well, I can tell you 2 stories. Okay, the first one time, he called me, he was like, I'm not doing nothing, I'm bored sitting here in the door, come pick me up. I was like, okay. It was like 10 o'clock at night, and I just left the house. I went and picked him up, and I put a blanket in the back of the car. At the time, I had a Ford Fiesta. Imagine a 6-foot nigga riding around in a Ford Fiesta with a hatchback. And it was a stick shift. I was so happy. I had to learn how to drive a stick shift in that car. Yeah, I learned how to drive a stick in that car. That was my baby. I love that car. Anyway, I had 5-speeded myself over to the dorm, Tennessee State. I picked him up. And he was like, we need to do something. I was like, well, we can't go back to my house. Can we go to your dorm? He was like, no, because my roommate's in there. He said, we need to do something. I was like, okay, I guess we could go to the park. It's 11 o'clock at night on a weekday. I'm going to go to the park and fuck. Because we didn't have no money for the hotel. Hotels, back then, I think Motel 6 was like $100 a night, which is ridiculous if you are familiar with Motel 6. And then we wouldn't stay the whole night. We would just go there for a few hours. And they didn't have, the hourly hotels in Nashville back then, I don't know what they are now. The food. I just say that. Yeah, I'm ass. They are not. Don't nobody use them but hookers. It's over. The 1 hour, the hourly hotels are over by kind of near. What is the name of the road? Murfreesboro Road. Yes, kind of near Donaldson and Murfreesboro Road. They over. If you're familiar with the area, it is not. Them the only hotels over there, and it's a mess. It's hookers on the street and everything. Well, it used to be. It's not now. Now they've been gentrifying everything. So I was like, just go to the park. So we went to Shelby Park. Yes. He was like, what we finna do? I was like, just come on, follow me. And there's this one part. It's like near the park was supposed to be closed. Okay, by the time we got over there, because we had rode around for a long time. It was like an hour, burning gas on the money that I made. I think I was making a little bit over minimum wage because at the cable company, most of your money comes from commission, selling HBO and Cinemax and shit. So we had got over to the park, and there is this like sidewalk that leads from one of the community centers down to a picnic area, and then from the picnic area is a parking lot, and then on the other side of the parking lot there is a pond, big pond, and then two baseball fields. But as you go down the hill, it gets dark because there's no lamp post right there. It's just woods. So I had grabbed the blanket out of the back of the car. I said, "Come follow me." He was like, "Where we going?" I said, "Just come on." And I had laid it down on the sidewalk. Baby, when I tell you, I gave him the business. In that park that night, baby. Whoa. I was young, my knees was real good. I had bounced him straight to the mountaintop, baby. And then afterwards, he was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe we just did that." I was like, "You never had sex outside before?" He was like, "No." I mean, his mind was blown. I was like, "Okay, well, come on. If it's, we need to get you back to the dorm because I gotta go to work in the morning." Put everything back in the car, dropped him off. Um, I didn't hear from him until it was like almost the end of the semester again. At that point, I was the top shit. I was one of the first dudes he ever did some shit like that. Okay, so let me describe what he looks like. Okay, I'm 6 foot and like, around about that time in my life, I was probably like 160, 170, but I worked out, so I had like a runner's build, like a swimmer runner's build a little bit. Cedric is like 6'2". He's taller than me. Probably about 6'2", 6'3". He's high yellow, and he's built like he was somebody. Um, like maybe I could say Bad Bunny or Ricky Martin, kind of like. He's like, he's not overweight, but he was stocky, almost like a football player. But you know, there are times when a football player is a little misshapen. He wasn't misshapen. His body was T boots. So you're right. So imagine us in the Fiesta. Anyway, so at this point, I'm the shit. I enrolled him to the mountaintop at the park. So he called me back there and he's like, I finished studying my finals, come pick me up. I was like, okay. So we just ran around, just chilling, whatever. And like I said before, back then, the adult bookstore was the top place to go hang out at. So I was like, I guess we just go to the bookstore because it's too cold to be outside like we was the last time. He was like, okay, that's fine. So we went to the bookstore and we was inside just looking at the little trinkets and stuff. And then there was a pride necklace. This was before I would have ever even considered being out as I am right now. But what I guess what he experienced with me, it has sent him over to the gay side. It wasn't like he wasn't like feminine out. It was just like all of a sudden I could tell the difference. He was like he didn't give a fuck. Um, we was in there and it was a pride necklace. It had a bunch of triangles with other colors on it. And he was like, oh, I want that right there. I was like, when exactly do you plan on wearing this? He's like, I'm gonna wear it to school. You gonna wear a pride necklace at Tennessee State? Are you sure? He was like, yeah, that's what I want. I want that. Are you gonna get it for me? I was like, fuck it. As big as the sausage is, I should have fucking. Baby, that was a Billy Club. That was one of the biggest that I ever experienced. I was like, yep, I sure am. Hey, can we get this, please? And thank you. He got the necklace and put it on and did not take it off. And the reason why I know that is because like some years after we lost contact, I was talking to somebody. Not talking to, but I was cool with somebody, this dude. And I was like, oh, you went to Tennessee State? He was like, yeah. I was like, there was this dude I used to kick with. His name was Cedric. He was like, you talking about big tall Cedric? I was like, yeah. Cedric Wilson? He was like, oh my fucking gosh. That nigga got so gay. I was like, for real? What happened? He was like, this nigga, he was like, all of a sudden he didn't give a fuck. His roommate moved out of his room. I think he did something wrong. His roommate just didn't like it. He was like, he started walking around with this gay flag necklace on. It wasn't I said it wasn't a flag. It was like some triangles, right? He's like, you know what it is? I said, yeah, I know what it is. Well, first of all, he was asking, do you know who he is? Like, are y'all friends? I was like, yeah, we were really cool. I said, as a matter of fact, the necklace you're talking about, I bought it. He was like, are you serious? I was like, yeah, why? I was like, he started wearing my fucking necklace around, but nobody said anything to him because he was so big. So anyway, back to the night. Baby, I had wanted him so bad. And we was, the hotel was out of the question again. Man, Riley sharing an apartment. Riley's at the house. I left Riley to go pick Cedric up. And I was like, fuck it, I'm finna take you to the house. So we get to the house. I was like, you can't make no noise though. And you gotta act like we just like cool or whatever. He was like, okay, whatever. Which he didn't plan on doing, and he did not do once we got there. We get there, we're sitting in the living room, and Riley's in the bedroom with the door closed. And he said, was like, suck my dick. I was like, no, my boyfriend's in another bedroom. He's like, I don't care, suck my dick. I was like, are you crazy? And so we was going back and forth. He was like, are you, this motherfucker's about to come out here and go the fuck off. No, I'm not doing that. And my boyfriend's here. And plus, at the end of the semester, you go back to Houston. I'm still going to be here with him. No, I'm not doing that. He was like, no, I'm not playing suck my dick right now. I was like, no. Let me see it. This motherfucker put his dick out. I don't even have nothing this big in this bedroom is to use an example. I was like, oh, couldn't help myself. I went to sucking, baby. And then I stopped because I heard Riley moving around in the bedroom. And so he put his dick up. Ronnie got up, got dressed, and left. He came walking out the bedroom. And he darted straight across the living room and out the front door. I was like, oh shit. I was like, oh shit. He's like, you know what? I was like, no. I got him locked the door. I think he stood at the door and waited. I was like, just wait for a second. And I looked outside, his car was still out there, but then we waited for like 10 more minutes, and he got in his car, he drove away. Baby, when he drove away, I gave Cedric the business again. I sure did. Cause I was like, this type of nigga is a once in a lifetime opportunity here in Nashville, Tennessee. It ain't no more like him. I sure did. And then I took him and dropped him back off at his dorm. That was the last time I saw him in Nashville. I miss that nigga. Anyway, me and Riley, we got over it and we went through all the shit we went through and that was, anyway, that part of the story is on the other video. So, fast forward, I moved to Texas. Cedric was from Texas. But I moved to Dallas and he was from Houston. When I was there, when I first got to Dallas, I was like, I wonder if I could find him. So I kind of like was searching on the internet. This was back when Black Planet was popping. And I was looking for him on Black Planet. This motherfucker is not on the internet at all and has never been. As a matter of fact, when I got down here to Brazil, I looked that motherfucker up and he's still not on the internet. I was like, for a motherfucker who went to school for a medical degree and you can't be found, I was like, he must either not, he probably didn't finish school or he changed his major. But I mean, he was really intelligent, so I mean, he could have finished, but I don't know. Anyway, it was Pride Weekend in Dallas, and I was sitting there with my drink, and I turned around because something caught me out of the corner of my eye, and I'd be damned if it wasn't Cedric. I was like, oh, bitch, I'm getting fucked tonight. And I had a boyfriend. Darian was my boyfriend at the time. I was like, baby, he gonna have to get over it if he find out. I'm getting that tonight. So I made my way over. I was like, yo, what's up? We sat there and he was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you're here. What are you doing here? I was like, I live in Dallas now. I got my own place. I live by myself. He was like, I'm here with some friends or whatever, la la la. I went to the, okay. So let me get your phone number so I can, like, you know, we could catch up or something before you leave, or maybe I can come down to Houston and we can, you know, hang out. He's like, okay. He gave me his phone number. This motherfucker didn't answer the phone. I left him a message, but okay, so but I didn't want to get this one thing I can't do. I can't be thirsty. So because I know how I had learned how the queens in Dallas are, and I didn't want to be like one of the average queens. So I was trying to play it cool. I left him. I called, and I didn't leave a message the first time. Then I waited for a few hours, and I called back, and I left a message the second time. I was like, yo, hit me up, whatever. This is my home number. And I live in Arlington, which is like 30 minutes. I can come pick you up if you need me to or whatever. But he never responded. He never called me back or nothing. Okay, so fast forward, I become really good friends with the guy he was staying with in Dallas. His name was Sam Sansiski Daniels. And I was like, Sam, there was this dude, I think I saw him with you. His name was Cedric. Tall, light skin. He's like, you know Cedric from Houston? Yeah. He was staying with you while he was here. Trying to play it cool. He was like, yeah. I was like, oh. Because I called him to see if we could, because I know him from like when he was in school in Texas. You can't say TSU for Tennessee State, because in Nashville, there's everybody, whenever you say, oh, I go to TSU, you know, I'm going to a TSU game, you can't say that in Texas because TSU also is Texas Southern University in Texas. So when I would say, oh, well, he used to go to TSU, and I was like, I don't think he went to Texas Southern. No, not Texas Southern, he went to Tennessee State. So I was like, he went to Tennessee State a while ago. He was like, oh yeah, I remember him talking about that, yeah. I was like, well, I know him from there. So I called him when he was here. What happened? everything cool? He was like, oh, somebody broke into his car. After they broke into his car, he just canceled everything. He was like, man, what the fuck? If whoever it was, you just don't know how much ecstasy you have blocked. That night because you busted out his fucking car windows. Anyway, so that was the last time I saw Cedric. But on the flip side, I helped him kind of come out of the closet, according to all the stories that I've heard. So that's like two people that I've helped come out of the closet, and be comfortable with themselves on the inside. Uh, Cedric and Darian. That's it.